Ladies and gentlemen, welcome. Episode number 56 of my AI Love Affair. My name is Ronsley, and today we're going to talk about the 10 commandments for every creative entrepreneur, or as we call it here, AI geeks. This is going to be super interesting, especially if you're kind of understanding or want to know what values and systems you want to incorporate when it comes to the ethical frameworks around artificial intelligence. There's a lot of things that I'd love for you to understand, and I have boiled them down into these 10 commandments. I have presented these before, and I'd love to hear your thoughts on what you think and if I should remove some, add some. Your opinion really matters. So use the comments, send me a message, send me an email, and if it's the first time you're listening to this podcast, go check out our back catalog at myailoveaffair.com. All right, let's learn. Hey, it's Ronsley. Welcome, you AI geek, to this podcast, My AI Love Affair. Consider this podcast your digital compass, guiding you through the labyrinth that is business growth using artificial intelligence. Running a business as a creative can sometimes be like trying to solve a Rubik's Cube blindfolded. But what if you had a secret tool that could align all the colors for you? That is AI. It's like a master key unlocking multiple doors. Thanks for being here. Let's learn. We have the 10 commandments for what I call an AI geek. Now, an AI geek is a creative entrepreneur looking to include artificial intelligence or enable artificial intelligence within their business. Now, as creatives, the first thought that we possibly have is artificial intelligence is going to take away the things we do. And it might, because what we thought would be the last things to go are the first things to go, including image creation, copywriting, some of the most creative work that people get done and thought that we really needed humans to do. It has been taken first, which is quite interesting. These are the 10 commandments. These are the 10 value systems that I think will be extremely useful for you. And this is a tech stack that I'd love for your opinion on, because this is not just for me, this is for all of us to actually use artificial intelligence to grow our businesses, and not just to use it for the sake of using it, because AI can be a really cool magic trick that everyone gets involved in, but it doesn't really return on investment. So we want to be able to grow credibility, we want to be able to grow audience, we want to be able to grow revenue, and definitely we want to be able to grow operationally. So let's learn what these 10 commandments are. The first one is thou must learn the 3 timelines and the commoditization equation. Now, the commoditization equation is based on the 3 timelines, and I'll talk to you exactly what that is. This is a diagram that I think is easy to understand. The 3 timelines is timeline 1, timeline 2, and timeline 3. Now, what does that mean? Well, in the first timeline, it is what has happened a lot earlier, and then we are just sort of finishing the second timeline, and right now we are in the third timeline. The first one is the industrial timeline. The second one is the information timeline, and the third one is the intelligence timeline. Now, what does that mean, and why is this so important? Well, in the industrial timeline, we called the Industrial Revolution, which allowed us to create machines, it allowed us to create industry, it allowed us to do things a lot quicker than we've ever thought before. It allowed us to create computers. So that's the Industrial Revolution. The Industrial Revolution allowed us to create computers, which made the Information Revolution come along. And the Information Revolution allowed us to use computers. It allowed us to store data very cheaply and very easily on these machines. Now, in the Information Revolution, or the information age, or the timeline of the information age, we have so much of information easily available. And because of the Industrial Revolution and the Information Revolution, we're now in the Intelligence Revolution phase. And what that means is, with the industry, with the machine, and with information easily being stored and data easily being stored, we can now incorporate intelligence on top of that. And what does that mean? And what is the commoditization equation? The Industrial Revolution allowed us to commoditize machines and industry. The Information Revolution allowed us to commoditize data and information. And the Intelligence Revolution right now is commoditizing intelligence. So we've got to understand that's what's happening right now. We are in a stage where machines are commoditized. There's so much of different types of machines available. There's so much of data available. And as a result of the intelligence revolution, we have intelligence being commoditized. It's important to understand where we fit into the equation so that we do not become a commodity. Okay, that's commandment number 1. Commandment number 2 is thou shalt encourage empathy for the silicon-based intelligence. Now, what I mean by that is we have to understand we have to take the time to understand that the machines are just like us. It is just that they are silicon-based and we are carbon-based. They are a life form and that requires power and energy to run, just like we are a life form that require power and energy to run. If we don't get food and water and air to breathe, we can't function. And if we don't sleep and do all these other things, we can't function. The machines are similar. If the machines don't get electricity and data, it can't function. And it is just very simple to understand. And we need to empathize with them primarily because we have the empathy that it can learn from. Allowing the machines and the silicon-based intelligence to be empathetic is going to be one of the biggest things that we can potentially do because it's going to learn from us. That's commandment number 2. Number 3 is thou shalt not forget the triad of intelligence. Now, if you've watched the previous episodes, especially the last couple when I'm talking to Leopold Ajami about the Triad of Intelligence, he has a different take on it. I encourage you to really listen to that conversation so that you can understand what we mean by this. But there's 3 forms of intelligence that I believe we can think about this and understand what the Triad of Intelligence and how it applies to us. We have our human intelligence, which is what we have currently. And we can augment that with artificial intelligence, and we can align that with divine intelligence. Now, what does that mean? Everyone has a different way of looking at the ethical side of things, and you can call it God, you can call it universe, you can call it nature, whatever the divine looks for you. Aligning our intelligence with divine intelligence allows us to create an ethical framework of using artificial intelligence or using intelligence in general. So if we use our human intelligence, augment that with artificial intelligence, and then align that with divine intelligence, whatever that looks like for you, really important to understand that don't take that divine intelligence for granted. A lot of the times I say things that I've heard for the first time, and I believe it's a download from the universe that has come through me. And I'm sure you feel that in different ways when you create something. As creative entrepreneurs, we create things that have never existed before. And I believe that is the divine speaking through us as a conduit. So making sure that we understand the triad of intelligence and how our human, artificial, and divine align is really important to take this forward. Okay, that's the third one. The fourth one is thou shalt be the parent leading by example. What I mean by that is artificial intelligence right now is a child. It's in its infancy and it's learning from us. It's learning from the inputs. It's learning from what we're asking. It's learning from the data that exists out there. And that's why the data that exists out there needs to have more wisdom from our ancestors and our elders that have been using intelligence and wisdom for ages before the colonial age came and destroyed a lot of the ancient wisdom that we had collected and used to be very collaborative in nature and be very permission-based people. And I'll cover some of that in a future episode because I think that's really, really important. So that is commandment number 4. Be the parent that leads by example. Don't be the parent that says, do as I say. Be the parent that says, do as I do. Be the example. Number 5, thou will amplify your audience's superpowers with intelligence. Now, what I mean by that with AI is you are all entrepreneurs that have clients and audience. Think about how you can give them superpowers with how you learn artificial intelligence and how you can give them very specific skills with AI. Allow them to have these superpowers. And I have taught my team to use AI in different ways, and I feel like they are way more capable now than they've been, primarily because they have now superpowers with artificial intelligence because it's used in the right way. That's number 5. Number 6, thou shalt not be the intelligent being that fears intelligence. And by the way, I got this quote from the Avengers movie, the first one, where Iron Man and Captain America are finding out that Nick Fury has kept all these secrets. And Tony Stark says, wait, so an intelligence organization that fears intelligence? That's a bit weird. Well, don't be that intelligent being that's fearing intelligence, because it is just a different form of intelligence, and the more and quicker we understand that, the better we can use it. Intelligence is intelligence, irrespective of where it comes from. Number 7, thou will use AI with empathy and love. And this is really important because, like I said in a previous commandment, it is learning from us. And what we can definitely teach it that is so important is empathy and love. What I mean by that is empathizing with the people you're using it for, not using AI to beat your competition, not using AI to be faster, quicker, better, not using AI so that you win and others lose. Use AI with empathy and love. Use it to solve problems that you potentially might not have been able to solve before, and really think about how that applies to you and your business and your audience. That's number 7. Number 8, thou will start with your shortcomings. What does that mean? Everyone thinks of AI taking away their jobs. Well, instead of using AI to do the things that you're really good at, why don't you use AI to do the things you're not good at? Because it can do so many things. Just think of it as a graduate that they're the top of their class, ace all the bar exams and all the entrance exams on the planet. But if you do not give it the right instructions, then it's kind of useless. So rather than you try to use AI to do the things that you're good at, use AI to do the things that you're not good at. So start with your shortcomings. Number 9, thou shalt appreciate that this is the time of the creative. This is the time for us, because when I remember starting this, I was so creative that it was so hard for me to put all my creative thoughts into one place and focus it. And now you can do what you love and delegate all the things that you're not good at to artificial intelligence. And if you can understand this commandment, your business will grow faster and quicker than you've ever imagined it. Not that you leave people behind, you will show people how to come along and take them with you. And that is why you can do what you love, set the example, and it is the time for us to flourish. And finally, commandment number 10, thou shalt use a 3-step AI method to execute at speed. When you're thinking about using artificial intelligence in your business, understanding that there's a 3-step AI hack. It's a time hack, and really important to understand what happens in this hack. You spend most of your time in the planning phase. It's the blueprint, and this is time. This is time and this is outcome. And in the blueprint phase, you're finding out what does success look like? What are the requirements? What is the literature review? What has already been done out there? Find all that out at speed and plan using AI first. Then you use that plan and start the process. Determine the order of execution. What are the tasks, milestones, dates, and people required to then execute the AI, artificial intelligence systems that you're creating and how it grows your business. So if you have to understand what success looks like to be able to do the right process, and then you start, executing using AI, get things done using artificial intelligence to record, outline, maintain, measure. So if you follow these 3 steps, the outcome that you get is going to be much better. So spend more time in the planning, shorter time figuring out what the steps are in the process to execute, and then finally execute. Now, I hope this has made sense. If you don't agree with stuff and you think I should edit some of these commandments, I'd love to hear from you. And I'd love to understand how you think and what is most important. Again, if this is the first episode you're listening to, please go find our back catalog at myAIloveaffair.com or find us on all your podcast platforms, including YouTube, Spotify, Apple Podcasts, and all the different players. But also, if you don't know where to start, go to aigeeks.co/free and get the 20 lessons that will allow you to delegate your business to AI and understand some prompts and concepts that will make your life a whole bunch easier. All right, until next episode, much love. Hey, AI Geek. Thanks for listening. Your job doesn't stop here. I want you to lend your voice to the conversation. So you can join those conversations, discussions, new trainings, new recordings, and the rest of the AI Geeks by going to aigeeks.co/Discord. Also, share this podcast with a friend, another potential AI Geek. Until then, much love.